Hockey town, going down to hockey town, whoa, whoa. Hockey town, take me down to hockey town, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm Kenny Gallagher, joined with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, our fifth season.
Wow.
I know we thought we were only in our fourth season, but my goodness, 5 seasons already.
It goes by fast.
Yeah, it does.
That means I'm on going close to 2,000 hockey games and by the fifth season when it's over.
Isn't that something? Yeah, nobody will go to more hockey games in a season than this guy right here, and that's a fact.
Yeah. So, what do you think this last week? We got a lot of stuff starting. The Wild started.
Yeah.
The colleges have started.
Yes.
The Elite League for the high school has been going on for a little over a month now. So a lot of hockey now.
Yeah, well, we started out, last week we had head coach Mike Randolph, head coach of Duluth East Greyhounds, and it was great talking to him like it always is. And lo and behold, Jake Randolph, his son, now playing in Omaha, got Offensive Player of the Week
Right.
for the NCHC.
Right. I watched the game Friday night. It was on Charter Cable. The two Maverick teams, Minnesota State, Mankato, and Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah,
they're both Maverick.
Isn't that something?
And Omaha came in, and I think they were number 10 in the USCHO poll, and I think the Mavericks they were 6. Minnesota State.
All right.
So 2 good teams.
Sure.
In college hockey.
Yeah.
Omaha comes up there. And right in the first period, Jake Randolph scores. Then right after that, Jake Genzel scores for Omaha. So they're ahead 2-0. And then Ortega. But the thing that's funny to me is these are coaches' kids that are doing the scoring, you know. They always say
Randolph, Genzel.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
But they held on and they won that first game 3-2.
Yeah.
And then the second night, and I mean you heard too, that they won 2-0, and Jake Randolph scores both goals.
Yep.
And one of them, he took the puck away from the defender, and he came in all alone, and he scored. I mean, it was a beauty.
Yeah.
I mean, people are saying. So, Omaha, I mean, had a great weekend. And Jake Randolph, I mean.
Yeah, that's great that a local kid can do that. And, you know, we certainly got our eye on Jake Randolph. And then, of course, the debacle at Amsoil Arena. My goodness, Jer. Unprecedented that Amsoil Arena didn't have power. They had to postpone the game to a later date that we still don't know when they're going to replay this game. But my goodness, how does that happen?
I mean, I called you a few minutes before I went down there and said, are you coming down to the game and that? And all of a sudden I went down there and I was 5:15 and all the news people had their tripods up and everything right out in front. And I thought, it's opening game, nice weather. Yeah, probably talking about the first game of the season, home game, you know, for a regular season. But I walked in there and he says, no game tonight. And I started laughing, you know, like they're joking with me. All of a sudden, no, it's no game tonight. I says, why? And he says, the power went out at 2 o'clock and the ice is getting soft. And I says, the ice is getting soft? You mean they don't have no backup? That's the first time. If you ever think you put, how many million do they put in that stadium?
Exactly. I thought
80 million into that stadium?
No,
pretty close.
Okay, I'm not sure.
It was pretty close to 80 million.
All right.
Not have a backup system?
I was surprised to hear that because a private line was severed that they couldn't play the game. My goodness, you attract 6,000 people to the arena. You had a big weekend, people traveling into town. You probably had a lot of tourists. Some of those folks wanted to take in the game. A lot of people down in the Canal Park area having supper, having dinner prior to the game. Woo! Well, hopefully they learned something from this and it won't happen again.
Right. I talked to a couple scouts that are coming in there, and they didn't know the game was canceled, and they're walking in. Some of these scouts flew into the Twin Cities, rented a car to come up here to scout
I'll
this
tell you
game.
what, I'm not a fan of this home and home thing. I don't understand it. It's silly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the next night, the Bulldogs had to travel to Bemidji, And then we're going to do it again this weekend. We're going to have a home and home with Minnesota, back-to-back home and home
And
series.
especially, you have to be within 200 miles probably to do this home and home, or 250 miles. But what happens, this is winter time for hockey. What happens if the weather, the first day, then a snowstorm comes in? And once they get there, they can probably play both games that way.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's more than one way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Make this a rare event, but to do it back to back, and
Right.
You have this unfortunate situation where we're still waiting for a UMD home opener, and it ain't gonna happen because the power went out. So the men's hockey team, the one game was postponed, and then they lost 3-2 Saturday up in Bemidji. They'll play at Minnesota this Friday,
home and home.
and then they'll be home to play the Gophers on October 17th at Amsoil, providing the power is on.
That's too much.
Back-to-back home and home series. I don't get it, but hey.
But they're the Gophers. They lost too.
To Vermont.
Yeah, Vermont's not even ranked in the top
They
20.
got shut out
Yeah,
at Mariucci.
right. And they always say Gophers have all the best players.
Well, when was the last time the Gophers got shut out at home in a home opener?
I can't remember. So it'll be interesting this weekend. Both teams are not too happy with the way they
Right,
performed on last Saturday.
Now, where are the poll standings?
UMD went from 2 to 10. Omaha went from
I thought UMD went to 7.
7. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
7. The Gophers went to 10.
Okay, all right.
And they were about 5 or 6 at the time. So
Well, obviously it's early, but what have the Gophers not done this year that, my goodness, to lose your home opener 3-0 to Vermont?
well, you got to remember they're coming in with a new goalie, but people told me that it wasn't the goalie's fault. They got some new freshmen and that, but hey, they still got some key players, and not to get shut out at home.
Yeah,
The opening game, come on, that doesn't make sense at all.
yeah, yeah. I was
So-
surprised.
So I think both of these teams are going to play with little urgency this weekend. They don't want to come out of there 0-3. So
So the Bulldogs and Gophers are scheduled to play Saturday, October 17th at Amsoil Arena at 7 o'clock. And, that was just a horrible, unfortunate set of circumstances Friday. Had you ever heard of a game being postponed
only from
in Duluth?
weather. Only from weather
Yeah,
for high school games, because the schools, if they close the schools down, they can't play hockey at night. It's a dumb rule to me too. Because what if the weather turns okay in the afternoon and that? Why not? Why spend all that time and money extra now to reschedule a high school game even, If the weather's good at night, have the game.
yeah.
But they have a rule.
Well,
Schools close.
they've really, I hope they learned a lot. This will probably never happen again, but if it does, I heard from people that said they should put some signage up in the skywalk that the game is canceled. Everybody walked the skywalk all the way to the arena to find out the game was postponed.
Plus, they're letting people into the parking lots paying $5 too.
I just,
Yeah, it
man,
wasn't
oh, man.
too organized.
So Bulldogs, not a loss to start the season. Still waiting for that home opener that'll occur Saturday, October 17th. College of St. Scholastica, they're going to start their season with 2 games at home. They're going to play River Falls on Friday, October 30th, and then Halloween, Saturday night. The
Oh,
UW
wow.
Stout Blue Devils are in town.
Ooh.
So if you want to see a hockey game and get all dressed up, St. Scholastica up at Mars Lakeview, Saturday, Halloween night, Scholastica and UW Stout. Now the Bulldogs, they'll be hosting UMass Lowell at Amsoil Arena that weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good team. So they got some tough teams on their schedule this year for out of conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you watch the Minnesota Wild last Thursday against Colorado?
I did. They were losing 4-1, and I wasn't going to give up on the boys. I wasn't going to turn off the TV and go to bed and say, oh, and I stayed up and watched the game. I know a lot of people were surprised when they woke up.
They changed channels or went to bed.
Yeah, and woke up and found that they won. But Zach Parise, his first hat trick as a Minnesota Wild.
Right. And that's all, to me, that's only his third in his career.
Okay. All
But
right.
the funny thing about it, think of this. That was the second goal, third goal he got that night was the winning goal. That's the 50th winning goal in his career. That's a lot.
That's amazing.
You got to be around a long time. 50th winning goal.
I wish we had about 5 Zach Parises.
Yeah.
Is the jury still out on Mikael Granlund?
I think they want big
and
improvement.
I know, yeah.
He's young still, but I think they expect a big improvement this year. I think
And an improvement would be more goals, hopefully.
more goals
Yeah.
and more everything because he's a playmaker too.
Yeah.
He sees the ice real good, and I think he's on a good line. And then stuff will happen, but they need the young kids to improve.
Charlie Coyle?
If the Wild are going to do anything this season, the young ones have to be the ones doing it.
Right.
Because you can't expect too much more out of the older ones.
And that division is tight, Jerry. Nashville, Chicago, Minnesota, Vancouver. Or no, Vancouver's not in that division no more.
But still, to get through that first.
Dallas.
Yep.
Columbus surprisingly started out 0-3.
But they're a good team. They
Well,
ended the season and
yeah.
they picked up some key players this summer.
The Rangers started out very hot, 3-0 to start the season. Pittsburgh still looking for their first win.
Oh, another thing, Ryan Suter, he got his 300th assist on the Colorado game.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
All
so
right.
a lot of you have to be a long time there too to get 300 assists
Yeah, that's a big
for a
milestone.
defenseman.
Yeah, Matt Niskanen got his 200th
Yep.
point.
Local boy from Virginia, Mountain Iron.
Yeah. Now with the Washington Capitals.
Yeah, and he's liking it. He's got a nice contract there. I think it's a 5-year, and he's making him close to $6 million a year.
Yeah, I heard
Not
he has.
bad.
I heard he has a nice house up on Lake Vermilion too.
I bet he does.
Yeah, nice little pad up there.
Nice kid.
Well, he sure is.
Yeah.
You know, left UMD early. Played 2 seasons. I think a total of 77 games, and he went straight from the practice season. I don't think he played in the AHL that season. He played in the AHL. Training camp started, and I think he made the team right out of training camp.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, with the Dallas Stars.
And the nice thing about it in high school, all the big schools like Gophers and that wanted him, but they wanted him to leave his senior year in high school. And he says, no, I want to be with my friends. I want to play football, hockey, and baseball. And he did. He stayed his senior year, and then UMD said that you can
They
do that.
made a trip to state in his senior year. It was 2-0. They went down to state and lost their first 2 games, and they were done. But he made it down there, and
So-
those are memories you can never.
Yeah. He
Never-
made,
never
look at.
recapture.
So, I mean, I don't know why kids want to leave early, because your chances are not better to make it. Even though they say, oh, more games, tougher competition. No. Why not have fun? You got the rest of your life to go up to the big boys, in the pros.
Well, Matt Niskanen is a perfect example. Had he left early, he would have not made a trip to state with his Virginia Blue Devils, and
Right.
those memories would have been lost forever.
Alex Goligoski, he's another one. Paul Martin.
Yeah.
There's I can name tons of them that stayed in high school, and
Yeah.
hey, they're doing good in the pros.
Minnesota Wilderness of the NAHL playing up at Northwoods Arena in Cloquet. They'll have a game coming up. Well, I know they got a game on Friday and Saturday, the Halloween weekend as well. So there's a lot of hockey during the Halloween weekend in Duluth. Scholastica, UMD, the Minnesota Wilderness, and the Wilderness, now that Toscano's back and they got a couple of other guys back, are starting to win games.
I heard a rumor today they might be getting Aaron Miller, Superior product. They played for the Wilderness last year. Remember him?
Oh, sure, yeah. Where is he at now?
He was at Sioux Falls in the USHL, the top junior Tier 1 league.
Yeah.
But I heard that the Wilderness was trying to get him back there in Minnesota here.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah.
He could play in front of
He
family
played
and friends.
good. He had a great
Okay.
year last year, and That would really make the Wilderness on offense
They
a lot
got
stronger.
they got quite a deal going on up there in Cloquet with that Wilderness team. They got a great arena. They got
Right.
great sponsors.
Right.
They got great coaching, great ownership. It's doing well.
And a great PA announcer once in a while.
Yeah, I fill in for Justin Michaels from KTCO FM when he can't make it, and I've done a couple of games now. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they do a good job up there.
Yeah, they do.
Chris Trapp, whose kid played at Duluth East, he plays on the team too, but he's the owner, and he's doing everything to make this correct, and they won the championship in 2 years there. Corey
Amazing.
Millen coaching,
Yep.
you know, and they're just doing a great job up there.
So again, the Minnesota Wild 2-0 to start the season with a win at Colorado, and then the home opener at Saturday against St. Louis. Now they're going to have 4 days off until they resume play on Thursday the 15th at Arizona, and then they'll travel to Los Angeles for the take on the Kings Friday at 9:30. They'll have Saturday off, and then they'll travel across the highway to Anaheim
To the Duck
for a
Pound.
7 o'clock start on Sunday the 18th, and then they'll have 3 days off and return home for games against Columbus on Thursday the 22nd and Anaheim Saturday the 24th. But my goodness, 4 days off
Yeah.
and then back-to-back
Didn't
road
they do
games.
this last year too? They took that almost a week off right away.
Yeah. You know,
I
you
don't understand this scheduling.
Well, you get your legs underneath you for 2 games, and then you got 4 games off, or 4 days off.
You
It's
think
kinda
you
odd.
play more games in the beginning, get some days off later in the season?
Again, the Minnesota Wild will be shown on FSN and FS Wisconsin. Folks over in Superior and parts of, Wisconsin can watch Minnesota Wild as well, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah,
Daryl Sador was sentenced,
yeah.
assistant coach for the Wild, drunken driving charge. He had a plea agreement and will spend some time in jail, and it's going to be where he can work it out.
And do it in some weekends. And,
Boy, that's convenient, isn't it? You get
Yeah.
a charge of that, and you can work it out like that. My goodness.
so he must be in some kind of rehabilitation or something like that right now because he wasn't on the bench on Saturday. So, but hey, I'll hope the best for him, and
You bet.
get his life back together.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us are perfect.
Well, you are. Aren't you?
Yeah.
What about high school? What's the latest in high school?
Well, the Elite League, I was down there, and North team is still number 1 in league. They got 24 points after, let's see, how many games would that be? 12 and 3, 15, 5 weeks they've been playing the Elite League already. But
Now, who makes up that team?
we got 5 kids from Duluth East,
5.
5 kids from Hermantown, 5 kids from Rapids. They got a kid from who is one of the leading scorers in the league is defenseman Scott Berinovich. He's good kid to watch. They got Luke Dahl and East is in the top 10. They got Ash Altman from Duluth East. Wyatt Almont is on the Hermantown kid, defenseman. He's in the top 10 in scoring. So they got a lot of good kids on this team.
And who coaches that team?
Grant Crafton. He played at his college hockey at up in Rapids, and then he went to St. Cloud State. Now this year he's going to be coaching Greenway.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
and the assistant coach is a kid. I think he was on the national champion team, Chad Huddle from Hermantown. Wasn't he on that team?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He was on that Bulldog
Yeah,
championship
so he's
team.
an assistant coach on
Yeah.
this North team. But
Oh, okay.
they're number 1. They're 12 and 3 record. I mean, they're playing against the best high school kids in Minnesota, Shattuck,
Oh, my.
and Wisconsin. So
And that
hey,
team is called,
they just give them the areas like Team North. Then there's Team South.
so that's
East,
Team North? Team
Yeah,
North?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then out on the west side, like Moorhead, Bemidji's called Great Plains.
Ah,
So
all right.
hats
Yeah.
off to them. I mean, good for them.
Say, we learned that Stauber Brothers in Duluth, they're going to change the name of their store to Duluth Hockey Company,
Is that what it's going to be called?
and they're going to do exclusively hockey gear. The Stauber Brothers, a name synonymous with hockey in Duluth over the years. All those boys played hockey at Denfeld. And, Duluth Hockey Company is going to be the exclusive northern store for Minnesota Wild merchandise. The Hockey Lodge merchandise that you find at the Hockey Lodge at XL Energy Center. There also are some stores, where are there?
Mall of America, I think.
Mall of America, Southdale, Maplewood, and now in Duluth. You're going to be able to go to the Duluth Hockey Company, formerly Stauber Brothers, and get Wild Hockey Lodge gear.
Oh, good.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go Wild.
Duluth Hockey Company. We'll have to get maybe a Stauber brother on here to talk about that.
Yeah. Tell them to bring a jersey for both of us. Oh, by the way, the Wilderness, the Minnesota Wilderness and the North American Hockey League won both games down in Austin on last Friday and
Did
Saturday.
they? Okay.
Yeah. So they're starting to pick it up and doing good. And plus they play the Magicians on Thursday night up here at Cloquet, 7:30 game. So if you're not
All
doing
right.
anything Thursday night, get out to Cloquet, and it's good hockey.
It's a great arena, too.
And you've watched it a few games now. And
Yeah.
You were kind of surprised how good it is, huh?
I was impressed.
Yeah.
I really was. Good pace, good skill these kids have. And you get to see some of the local guys still playing hockey. Alex Toscano,
Right.
Trapp,
Right.
Alex.
Yep.
Yeah, Alex Trapp.
Hey, did you see that Derek Forbert was still on the roster at the LA Kings a couple days ago? So, but I think they have to cut 2 more. So I don't know if there's some injuries going on the team.
Well, there you go. Derek Forbert is the only Duluth-born NHL player currently in the NHL.
There you go.
Way to go, Derek. That is awesome.
You remember Jack Jablonski? That name?
I do.
He was a Benil kid that, what year was it?
It's got to have been, what, maybe 5 years
Two-
now?
2012, I think it was.
Jack had a spinal injury and ended up
Right.
in a wheelchair.
He got checked into the boards. It wasn't
Yeah.
really illegal check or anything, but just the way he fell into the boards, lost the edge and that, and he was paralyzed.
Yeah.
And they never thought he'd even be able to work a wheelchair, but he's in a wheelchair. Well, USC gave him a full scholarship out there in
USC,
out
Southern
in
Cal?
California. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, gave him a full scholarship. He's doing communications and journalism.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so he's out there. School this fall, started his first season out there in school. Now the LA Kings gave him an apprentice job in the communication department.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so he's going to every King game now.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
I mean, that's great what they're doing for
Yeah.
the kid, and I think he'll do a good job, because I've heard him speak on TV where they interview him in between periods and
Yeah.
that. And I think he's going to do a real good job, because he's a very good speaker.
Yeah.
So that's good. Hats off to that kid for everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Was such a tragic thing when that happened.
He's learning how to live on his own and everything. So
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, that's a good story.
All right.
We need more good stories like that.
Yes, I agree.
So, who do the Wild play on this week now?
Well, they're going to play Phoenix, Arizona Thursday, and then they'll travel to Los Angeles to play the Kings on Friday. They'll have Saturday off, and then they'll take on the Ducks of Anaheim on Sunday the 18th at 7 o'clock.
In a week or two, we're probably going to have some of the people that are involved with Hockey Day Minnesota up here in Duluth talk about what they're going through and all the things they have to do, the money. It's bigger than you think to get this done. And plus, one of these guests will talk about their kids in Pee-wees right now, but going through tryouts. This is tryout week. This last, I've been doing evaluating last, I think Tuesday, but I've been doing all this Pee-wees this week. But just what these parents have to go through and over their career with their
Yeah.
kid, you know, how much time it takes hockey, you know, from when they're young, you know, and they first put on skates. So it's neat to hear what really goes through, but just the rewards
Yeah.
when they make these teams and kids having fun and that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Hockey Day, Minnesota. Duluth is the host city, and that'll take place February 6th.
yeah, Saturday. And the word is right now, somehow the weather just doesn't work out. We pray to God that it's going to be nice. But looks like they're going to have inside at the Heritage.
If the weather doesn't cooperate.
Right. That's what they're talking right now, but that's not guaranteed yet.
Yeah.
But hey, I would buy my tickets now because they're probably going to sell maybe 1,500, 2,000 because they want to wait and make sure the weather. And then the week before, they're going to sell a lot more if they see the weather's going to be okay. You can tell usually a week ahead of time. You're the weather guy.
Now, they're going to assemble a hockey rink at Bayfront Festival Park, and that's going to be the location for
Yeah.
Hockey Day, Minnesota.
We'll get all the information, but it looks like they're going to get new boards
Yeah.
and just use the weather for the ice. So it'll take 3 weeks probably to get this ice and
Use the weather for the ice.
yeah, to freeze it and that. They're not going to use refrigeration.
Well, they're not.
No.
They're counting on the weather
Yes.
to have ice.
Yes, because it costs too much.
Ooh,
That's
well,
a lot
keep
of
your
money.
fingers crossed on that one.
But here's the nice thing. After it's over, the boards, I think, are going up to I think Piedmont. So it goes to a youth community.
Oh,
So
great.
that they can have an outside rink, another
Yeah.
outside rink. And so that'll be nice too.
You bet it will be. How about the UMD women hockey team? They got kind of a slow start, didn't
Right.
they? They will play MSU Mankato October 16th and 17th, and that'll take place at Amsoil Arena. And the women's hockey team, new head coach this year.
Yep.
But they're off to a slow start.
Yep. And then the Gophers, they're as good as always. I mean, they got some players on that team.
Yeah.
They're kicking butt on all these teams so far. So
Sure.
Of course, they're number one. And then I guess Wisconsin, North Dakota are very good teams. Oh, Bemidji State, they picked up their hockey program.
Yeah.
Because they beat UMD twice this last weekend up there in Bemidji. No, they played in, where did they play them? Up there?
At Bemidji.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we've come down to a last couple of minutes in the program here. We do want to thank the staff at PACT-TV. This program is produced in the studio at Public Access Community Television in City Hall in downtown Duluth. You can find us on the web at minnesotahockeyconnection.com and go to our Facebook page and like us on Facebook. And that's about it,
And
Jared.
now we're putting our show on YouTube.
Yes,
So if you ever miss
Yeah.
a show, just go to YouTube and
Minnesota Hockey
we'll put it
Connection.
on our hockey website and Facebook site.
Yeah.
So join us, like us on Facebook, and you'll get the whole show anytime you want then.
Now, anybody scheduled for next weekend in studio or?
Well, we might try to get them from the Minnesota Hockey Day.
Yeah,
So
that'd be great.
I'd like to learn more information, and then we can have them back on right before, a couple weeks before the event.
Yeah.
And see how everything's going and that. This is a big event.
You
That's a
bet it
lot of
is.
planning.
Yeah,
So this will be great.
yeah, it sure will. Hockey Day, Minnesota, February 6th in Duluth, Bayfront Festival Park. And we're keeping our fingers crossed for great weather so that we can have ice because they're not going to have refrigeration, huh?
That's what it sounds like.
All right.
But we'll get all the true information when they come in.
Thanks for watching, and we'll be back here next week to drop the puck.